Hello, everyone. I am Val Jean, and this is my world, at least the way I see it. If you are happy with the current administration, please scroll by. This is not the channel for you. If you are not happy with the current administration and you want to do something about it, pull up a seat. This is the place. I would like to welcome my new subscribers, my returning subscribers, and Team Replay. Thank you all so very, very much. You make this channel what it is, and I am ever, ever so grateful. And my cousin Michelle is in the house. Hey, baby girl, how you doing? Good to see you. How is your day going? I could not decide what I was going to talk about today because there is so much smack going on. We're in Missouri. We had several tornadoes over the weekend, and we're cleaning up through the aftermath. All of the senators have been here. So they haven't really been doing a lot of damage in DC because they've been here doing damage. So we'll see what we can do. I know you're loving the sound level there. I know you are, and I am happy for you. I am really happy for you. And lurkers, please hit like. If you're on the TV, please switch over to your phone and hit like. If you come back later, hit like. It's all good. Little by little, we're growing. Little by little, we're hitting on all of the little buttons that everybody wants to talk about. And while I'm waiting for Sam and Pebbly Pooh and Jen to come in, we'll talk a little bit more. We'll give them a few more minutes. Michelle, did you get a notification? I scheduled this earlier so that YT would go, oh, yeah, she's going to be live in 30 minutes. Did it do that? Yeah, Drea had the same issue. She said she was up until 2 o'clock. Last night was the first night I did not hear the alarms. She called me and she says, "Mom, the alarms are going off." And I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I hung up, and I did not want to get up out of the bed. I said, "Okay, I'm going to lay here. I'm going to try to sleep lightly, and if I hear a train, I'm going to the bathroom." I could not get up. Oh, yes, and we must wait for Darcia. We can't do this without her. Panda Pooh is here. You did get one. Yay. Hi, Panda. You're lurking and listening, playing with some zombies. Ooh, baby. Had to take a little yarny break. I understand because you've been working hard. You have really, really been working hard. Yeah, that was the first time I slept through the alarm because I'm a light sleeper. I hear everything. I didn't hear that last night. Mama was tired. Mama was tired working out in the back 40. I didn't hear anything. You lost power for a bit. I might have lost power, but I was asleep, so I didn't. No, you know what? Because my stuff wasn't blinking at me when I woke up. So no, I did not lose power. Luckily, very rarely do I lose power over here. I think the longest it's been off was maybe an hour. I've been lucky. My lines are buried. There's our dear darling Roberta. How you doing, sweetheart? You're waving. Oh, you're waving at me and giving me a hug. Hugs and smooches to you, sweetie. I appreciate that. I looked at our dear sis Ola Joe's page, and she has not scheduled her live yet. So I want to be mindful of that. And she did not post anything in her community tab that she was not going live. Michelle says, I had forgotten about our lawnmower mission. I ordered it. I ordered it. They sent me a text saying it was ordered. They have not shipped it yet, though. Everybody's speaking to Roberta. Somebody asked me last week if our mailing and calling campaign was working. It's working. I am happy to say that it's working. And you know how I know it's working? Cause my little baby, you know I love me some Greg Casar. He said so. Let me see if I can make this work.
Members of Congress just imploded on a key vote because they've got a battle between them, between those that want to prioritize billionaire tax cuts and those that want to cut not 10 or 12 or 15 million people off of their health care, but 20 or 30 million people that they want to kick off of their health care. This battle and implosion is happening because of your pressure. Keep making the phone calls. Keep pressing on them. We can block these billionaire tax cuts. We can save Medicaid as we know it and save lives if you turn up the pressure. Because if just 4 of them won't go along with this plan for whatever their crazy reasons are, we can save lives and we can continue this fight to save our democracy.
Hooray for our team.
Hey guys, it's Congressman Greg Casar with some breaking news that I wanted to make sure you saw. Republican members of Congress just imploded on a key vote because they've got a battle between them.
Sorry, I was on the wrong tab. I can't do that from here. So yeah, Roberta says, hey Panda, I saw you commented on Fiber Spider. Are you going to try it? Okay. Sunita, I saw your congressperson the other day. Her name is not coming to me. She is a dynamic speaker. I love her. I would move to Joplin just so she could represent me. She is great. No, Joplin's in Missouri. No, she's in Joliet. Now I got to go back and see. I was thinking she was in Joliet. We know how my poor memory is. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. But it's working. It's working. And I think Chris Murphy, he presented something. I could not find the clip that he was on in my history, but at the end of it, he says, and you can help. Keep calling, keep expressing your opinion. It does matter. So we just got to keep going on with the pressure. Panda says, sorry for late replies in between zombies. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Oh, the kefir water. There's Darcia. We're good. We're doing pretty. We're still here. We're still above ground. I didn't have any damage last night. Michelle, did you have damage last night? There's Pebbly Poo. Pebbly, did you? Well, if you did not see the clip I just played, Greg Casar said that our campaign of emails and letters and calls is working, and to keep it up. It's working. Somebody asked me last week, was it working? And it is. Hooray for our team. Oh, you didn't have any damage. That is awesome. Now, in my quest to find something that we could talk about today, that we could actually do something about, because yeah, they've done a lot of stuff over the weekend, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it. We know 47 is doing some incredibly illegal and inhumane things. I don't know that the senators and the congressmen have any control over him for those things, but there are some things we can handle. Roberta says, I have no problem expressing my opinion. What are they going to do? Put me in jail? See, they will try. They will try. It is working. And the Colombian student who was arrested, he was released and he walked across the stage with his graduating class. So hooray for that. Pebble says housing is having a town hall meeting on Zoom 2 consecutive Wednesdays. Oh, what 2 Wednesdays, Pebbles? Do you know? Okay, Pebbles. How do you get the link to the Zoom town hall and which 2 Wednesdays? Because I know Chris K is going to want to be there. Thank you for that intel. Demand the charges dropped on the. Oh, the mayor? Yeah. Yeah. Let me add that to my list. Yes. We can okay, we can write to have the charges dropped against the New Jersey mayor. And that was just stupid. He just went up there to see about his people. Just awful. And their Supreme Court gave Trump a win finally. He is allowed to remove the protective status from the Venezuelans and deport them. FAFO. Supreme Court said, "Oh yeah, you can do that." Yeah. I think that's the only one he's won though. Pebble says it's in my email from my state. Yet they will be discussing new requirements for reporting. I'll text the links to Zoom for Chris. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Because if it's for, oh, okay, Pebbles, if it's for your state, it's not nationwide. It's not for all of the states that have HUD housing. Roberta says, mayor is dropped. They are charging the junior senator that was with him. Oh, for my gosh sakes. Okay, junior senator. He's standing up for his rights. Yep, she meant the senator. I did not know that they actually charged him. Sure, changes are nationwide. Okay, okay. Dinky Jen, hello. Just watching a premiere, then we'll listen in. That is fine, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. I mean, Jen, we really appreciate you being here since this isn't even your country. We really appreciate your support. Roberta, that's okay. If you're on the phone, it doesn't matter if you're on your side, on your back, on your stomach, or standing up. The phones will do what they will do. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, her. Okay. Um, Again, I never finished my thought. You all know how I get. Um, I was I went to MSNBC because Rachel Maddow always presents something good. She has a 9-minute clip that has like 10 things in it, and it's 10 things we can write about, or pick the ones that are personal to you. You don't have to do all 10. You can pick and choose. But I think that everything she said is something that we can actually write about and make our thoughts known. Don't you laugh at me. So as she breaks in between subjects, I'm going to pause in case anybody has something they want to say about it, if they have any questions about it, or if there's something you missed, you want to see it again. We can do that. This is going to be an interactive session as normal, but we're going to stop and go. We're going to stop. I love me some Greg Casora. I really, really do. Uh, Roberta says, I signed up to work at Mark Elias law firm branch. Do you feel up to that? That is awesome. That is flipping awesome. I am happy for you. Look at you. Look at you. It's gonna make me cry. BB, welcome in. Pull up a chair. Get your pad and paper. Cause girl, we got homework. We got homework. But we're gonna do this in bite-sized pieces. So I'm gonna start with Rachel, and then you all can also let me know if you can't hear her or anything, whatever. We're just gonna do this as a fam. Make sure that I got Rachel up here. Yeah, I got Rachel. Okay. Let me do this.
History of what was happening in the 2020s when democracies in some cases were falling into authoritarianism and dictatorship, when lots of democracies around the world started sliding in that direction and then fought their way back. What will the story be about us in our country in 2025? I mean, what will they say about what motivates our protest movement here against Trump? It's not like it is in Serbia, right? You can't trace it to, you're not going to be able to trace it to the one railway station collapse like they had, right? Serving as the catalyst for that movement that just caught fire and took over the country. For us, it's a million things. I mean, your mileage may vary. Maybe for you, it is that Avelo Airlines decision to keep marketing themselves to US customers for pleasure trips, while they're also using their planes and their pilots to fly deportation flights for Trump for profit.
I did not realize that. I did not realize who was flying the planes because, we did our little campaign that he shouldn't be using military jets, and we did not pay tax dollars for that. But we're paying less tax dollars, but we're still paying tax dollars. So what do you all think about Avelo? Let me move my face so you all can see it. It's Avelo Airlines, and people are out here protesting it. Oh, I am so happy. Roberta says, mostly research so I can do from home if I need. That is awesome. Elias is a good person. That is awesome. That is flipping fantastic. So, yeah, people are out there protesting the airline. And is it really the airline or is it the administration? Are they going to turn down money? I think they shouldn't be deporting at all until people have gone through the judicial process. Pebbly Pooh is waving to everyone. Okay, we're going to move on to number 2 because Rachel's got a lot to say here.
Maybe it's the cuts to Medicaid in the Trump Republican budget. There is a reason they keep scheduling the votes on this thing at 11 o'clock last night on Sunday. And the next vote is 1 a.m. on Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. That's their next vote on it. I wonder why they keep scheduling the votes at times like that. Well, polling from Data for Progress says there isn't a single congressional district in the entire country where cutting people off their Medicaid health insurance is popular. But Trump and the Republicans are trying to pass this thing to take health insurance away from at least 5 million Americans and likely millions more than that. Maybe that's it.
Okay, we've been talking about Medicaid. And now that since they lost the vote last time, they're like the Democrats aren't going to set an alarm to get up and get to the Capitol to cast their vote. Like the congressperson from Colorado didn't introduce that bill so she can do her vote by proxy so she doesn't have to keep hauling her baby to DC. They know we're going to fight back. I'm like Reese Waters now. Fight back. Thank you, BB. Due process. BB, see, thank you. You know me already, and we've only been friends for a couple of months. You are awesome. you know, you all have to finish my sentences. I start out strong and end up in the middle going, what is that word? Yeah, they go into court, due process. Exactly. Hold on, I have to plug in my little pewter because it says, I need some juice, ma'am. It told me twice yesterday it needed juice and I hadn't gotten to the cord and it just went black. He's like, I told you I needed some juice. Michelle says, I agree. It is as the rights don't matter. Yeah, the rights don't matter. If you have your papers, it doesn't matter. If you are in the process and you've got your application in and you're trying to go to the lawyers, it doesn't matter. If you have a lawyer appointment, they're still snatching people up. Roberta says, I probably will never meet him and no money is worth my soul. Those pilots should say no. See, and that's the other thing, that they are not following their own convictions. And that's hard. I know you got a good job, you want your job, you need your job, but there are just some things that are not worth it. Like all of the lawyers in New York who weren't going to drop that case against what was that, the mayor, and they all resigned. Some people do have standards. Pebble says, yes, that's crazy hours for votes. How many of our representatives are present? Well, we had enough present because they didn't pass it on Sunday. So now they're going to have another one. They had enough present at 11 p.m. that they did not pass the vote. So they said, oh, well, we'll have it at 1 a.m. then. Cory Booker's already been up for 24 hours. You think they're not going to set an alarm and get up to go cast their vote? Come on now. They don't. I don't know why it's so hard for them to believe that we're not serious. I don't understand why they're having so much trouble understanding that we are serious. BB says, Michelle, I've been so busy with my oldest son's first communion. Oh, and then he did his confirmation. I'm glad he is done. Congratulations. That's big. That is big. Congratulations. Roberta says, people act like Medicare is free. That's what they think. Trump, somebody started, I can't swear that Trump started it, but somebody started the phrase that Medicare and Social Security was an entitlement. It's not an entitlement. We pay for it. But no matter how much they are told that we paid for it out of our wages every time we got paid, they keep saying it's an entitlement. It's not an entitlement. That's our money that we paid into the system, but they won't see that. Like they did not understand that the tariff was a tax. Now they're starting to see it. And I do have a clip about that if you want to see that later. Yes, congratulations. Darcia says also Representative McIver, Democrat, New Jersey, is going to be charged exercising her right, and the 80-year-old Congresswoman who stood with her. I saw McIver's name flash by my screen, but I didn't stop to see what that was about. The good thing about that is Cory Booker's from New Jersey, so she's got help. She's got help. That's the one good thing about it. She doesn't have a Republican senator. She's got Cory Booker. So that is awesome. You're welcome, BB. Roberta says, that's the one I was talking about, Darcia. Okay. BB says, the right only matter for them, not us. No, it doesn't matter for us. Not at all. Roberta says, Darcia, good old Alina Baba. I don't know how she sleeps at night. I don't know how she sleeps at night. Welcome back, Dinky Jen. I would love to see that. I, as a matter of fact, I would love to see Cory Booker and Jasmine Crockett or AOC. Everybody keeps saying Jamie Raskin and AOC. I think Cory Booker and AOC or Jasmine Crockett would they blow it out of the water. They would blow it out of the water. They really would. I would vote for that. I was getting ready to say I would vote twice, but that's illegal. But I would I'd vote once with my right hand and once with my left hand. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't risk my vote being thrown out. Roberta says, "Oh, hey, did you see the founder of Ben and Jerry's got kicked out of Congress for protest?" I saw that. I thought that was funny. I did. I did. He doesn't know what side he's on anyway. Darcia says he wants to yeah, you know what? That's another letter we can write because and I forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Darcia. Um because we pay for those investigations. That's frivolous, it's unwarranted, and we pay for it. That's not what my tax dollars are for. So we can write about that as well. And he didn't say anything about the stores he had on his campaign trail. He didn't say anything about having Chris Rock at the White House. So what difference does it make who Kamala Harris had? He had people. Plus, he did copyright infringement on YMCA and oh God, Beyonce had to tell him to stop playing her song. He had a lot of copyright infringements against him. So why is he going to investigate somebody? That's not what my tax dollars are for. And Christy Nome has asked for an increase in her budget because she's already spent all her budget. And they politely told her that she has spent a year's budget in 3 months. What does she need the money for? And she had to was it Congress? I think she had a congressional hearing and she did word salad. They would ask her questions and she talked all around in circles. She never answered the question. Yeah, she has spent her whole budget already. And I don't know where they think the money's going to come from because they fired everybody who was putting money into the system. And Trump has spent it all playing golf or deporting people with the military jets because it made good pictures. Yeah. Our tax dollars at work. The disabled escorted by security removed for protest. Oh my God. Which protest was that? Stefanik is running for governor here in New York. Wait a minute, BB. No, she isn't. Now wait a minute. Hold on. Because she was supposed to be an ambassador to some place. But Trump had her step down because he knew her seat would flip to Democrat. So now he's going to let her run for governor. So we still have a chance to flip her seat to Democrat. Okay. BB, who else is New York? Write your letters, get on your phone. Yeah. Call people and get them to vote for the Dem. I don't care who it is. Just vote blue because we need the numbers. And then we can get the bad blues out. We've got to clean our house, but we have to at least have numbers in the fight. Right now, we're fighting uphill without weapons. We got to have weapons. And then we can weed out the bad blood. They've been saying Buttigieg and AOC. No, I don't think Buttigieg has enough backbone. What do you all think? I don't think I personally don't think anybody they would want AOC, but I don't personally think anybody would vote for Buttigieg. The DNC wouldn't vote for Buttigieg. Tell me what you all think. There's Granny. Hi, Granny. How you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. Roberta says Kid Rock lost a bunch of his employees because they were undocumented. Oh dear. Darcia says, BB, yes, it was crazy. He's just jealous of other people's success. He's jealous of everything anybody has. He thinks he should have it too. Also, don't forget about the parade June the 4th. That's not what our tax dollars are for. And then I said not only is it a military parade, but it's in period dress. So in DC in June, they are going to have people dressed up in wool pants. Why do we have to do cosplay? That's just adding money to it. We don't have. Where does he think the money is coming from? Somebody answer that for me. And remember, each one of these items is a separate letter because we got to flood their mailboxes. Everybody's speaking. They destroyed her. Yay! It couldn't have happened to a better person. It could not have happened to a better person. She is a walking poster child for credit review. I still don't know how you, with all her Secret Service, her purse with $3,000 in it walks out of a restaurant on Easter Sunday. How does that happen? Somebody had to get close enough to her to grab her purse. And nobody saw that? I find that really, really, really hard to believe. Roberta says, loved when Benny Thomas said, thank you for taking time out from making movies and wardrobe changes. Ah! That was good. That was good. That was good. Yeah, because now she is in she's got a commercial for every kind of service worker, and she's dressed up in their uniform. Cuts to Medicare, Medicaid. Yeah, that's the one we just did. We just did that one, Roberta Pebbles. Were you not here when we did that, or am I behind? Everybody's speaking. We have to have the cards. The Medicare, Medicaid cards. Okay, hold that thought. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I'm doing good, Granny. Yeah, I'm not thinking I don't even think the Dems would nominate him for that. No, we didn't mention that. It's stage 9. I thought it was 5. And then Trump, in his infinite wisdom, said, how did Dr. Jill Biden miss that? She's not that kind of doctor, you fool. Oh my gosh. Kid Rock told them to leave if they were undocumented. He was tipped off and they never came back. Michelle says he plans to raid the coffers of our Social Security to fund his BS. We got to write a letter about that too. Roberta says, why did she have $33,000 in cash? She said it was to pay for her family's Easter luncheon. She was treating her extended family. Yardanita, welcome in, sweetheart. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. BB says he doesn't yet. See, that point. No, he does not deserve one. He does not. And he's trying to play it off because this is the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, Armed Forces, whatever. But it just happens to coincide with his birthday. No. I saw that, D. He's just making up numbers. It is horrible. It is horrible. BB says, that's what I want to know, Roberta. Yeah, he has stage 4. It is sad. It really is. And now Bondi is threatening to charge Jill with elder abuse. Jill is not that kind of doctor. She's not a medical doctor. She's a PhD doctor. Oh, they're so ignorant. I'm sorry. What did I say? What? Yeah, no. She's not a medical doctor. She's a psychologist, isn't she? Hold on hold on. She is, I was right. See, I know some things. She is not a medical doctor or a DO. She's an educator with a doctorate in education from the University of Delaware. She has also earned master's degree in education and English. She is not a medical doctor, first of all. Second of all, it is against the AMA, HIPAA, the Hippocratic oath. You cannot treat your own family members. So even if she was a medical doctor, she couldn't have treated him. She couldn't have examined him. She could not have discovered it because it is not allowed for a doctor to treat their family members. As somebody who's worked trauma for 45 years, he's an idiot. She can't be. So she's not a medical doctor. And if she was, she couldn't treat a family member. They don't have a leg to stand on. All they have is a big mouth and hot air. Work my nerves, why don't you? See, that's why we do this. Can we write a letter and just say, shut up? No, because then they come looking for us. Oh my gosh. You know what? Every time he opens his mouth, he just proves how uneducated he is. And for all of these people who are getting honorary degrees, I have always been against that. I think they need to go through the schooling and earn their degrees like everybody else, because they walk around with these honorary degrees. Somebody just gave you that and said, oh, we're gonna bestow this upon you. You didn't earn it, you didn't deserve it, but we're gonna bestow it upon you. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's see. Roberta says, if he wants a parade, he can go to any military base. They do a week of celebrating for the birthday. I like that, Roberta. I like that. Or he could go to any military graduation if he wants to see formation. Kay says he has already run through so much money past what he has any right to touch. The Constitution is being used to clean on. Girl, he's run through his whole 4-year budget in 110 days. Yeah, she's got a doctorate in English. She's not a medical doctor. But the more I said that, the more I was like, you better check that to make sure. Because, yeah, no, she's not a medical doctor. They're stupid. Our government is being run by a bunch of uneducated, ignorant bigots. If she can be sued for medical abuse, can 47 be sued for misuse of organs? He has a body but no brain. I would say yes. That would be my first thought. I would say yes. Stupid. They are saying she knew and forced him to keep running. First of all, he has the right to have an annual physical every year. So that's between him and his doctor. She can't force his doctor not to treat him if he's going for medical intervention. Yeah. No, I was thinking that the stress and maybe that and then too, how do we know he hasn't been getting treatment? Remember they always called him Sleepy Joe? He might be taking a nap. If he was getting treatments, that would cause him to take a nap. We don't really know what was going on behind closed doors. Panda says, send my panda behind to the brig. I ain't going. Panda, I will bake you a cake and I'll put a file in it. I honestly will. He could go to see. In my opinion, Democrats need to keep their Senate seat and not leave to go run for something else and not groom people to run for their seats. I like that idea. Well, except for the old guard. The old guard needs to groom younger fighters for their seats because this sitting back and sitting on decorum is not working. You need more Jasmine Crockett's, AOC, Greg Casar, Maxwell Frost. You need the fighters with the mouths to get out there. The old guards, they need to step back because the Reds, they're not paying any attention to decorum. Please. Wait a minute, we're going to run out of time while we're sitting here. Hold on.
Services offices being so cut down by Trump that in many places they can now no longer staff our National Weather Service offices overnight. They don't have staff there at night because, who cares? Obviously, dangerous weather always confines itself to business hours, right? Maybe it's the ongoing disaster at Trump's FAA.
Hold on, Rachel. Luckily, our storms on Friday were during the day because it was really, really bad. Kate, welcome in. Good to see you. How you feeling? We have tanks in the streets, parades, marathons, the nights, flyovers, 21 gun salutes, on and on. Laurie, welcome in. Good to see you. Driving home from babysitting, so you'll be listening. Okay, sweetheart, we'll be talking. We will be talking. Roberta says, my take, they were telling High to slow down, but they were telling him to slow down, but he wanted to what? Kate says, play term limits and a playbook. Girl. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay. Pebbles says, thankfully we have YT Weather Chasers live. Christo, welcome in. Good to see you. Basically, it's saying all these southern red states that voted for him are effed because tornadoes typically hit at night in Dixie Alley. The leopards are eating their faces. Mm. And I'm sorry, but Kamala Harris tried to tell them that the whole time she was campaigning because the southern states are the ones that need the FEMA. They're the ones who need the electric assistance. Alabama's hurting. They're the ones that need the weather alerts. But they voted for him. Roberta says, on that celebrating, we are told ahead of time to take stuff off the walls. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. Panda says, don't want to sound like a jerk, but I don't have any pity for those that voted and now saying, this isn't what I voted for. Yes, you did. Yeah, that's why we call it FAFO, because you effed around and now you're finding out because we kept telling you and you kept listening to. And this morning it occurred to me that, and I know it's occurred to me before, but it's occurred to me again. You don't have to be a politician or a lawyer or have any kind of knowledge of civics to be a higher up in this administration. All you have to do is be on Fox TV, have a criminal record, or a sexual abuser or a pedophile, and have over $1 million, and then you can be in this White House. Well, that's why they dismantled the Department of Education, because he loves the uneducated. Because if they had had any education, they would have understood what tariffs really meant. Apparently, St. Louis hasn't heard from FEMA. The BS we were told yesterday was that, who was that from? Josh Hawley. And you all know how I feel about Josh Hawley. That the governor has to apply for the FEMA aid. And he hasn't done it yet. He's using the state emergency aid. But the governor said that he had already spoken to Kristi Noem, and he told her that right now we're okay. Yeah. Keisha Bottoms is running for governor here in Georgia. Is she a Dem? In a perfect democracy, there would be anonymous entrance exams to file for office. And they'd have to take an IQ test. Thank you, Laurie. I appreciate you agreeing. Yeah, they still don't understand the tariffs. They really don't. They really don't. And let me get through these. If I get a chance, what time is it? Nah, I'm not gonna have a chance. We'll do that next time. You know what? I'll put a link to it in the description, because there's nothing we can do. No, I'll put it on the community tab, because Tabitha Speaks Politics had a great segment this morning about the FAFOs of the tariffs. On to my favorite, the airplanes. Wait a minute, let me get the tab up first, since I don't seem to be able to get the tabs open what I'm talking about. Here we go. Gracious me.
Nation's air traffic controllers are losing communication with planes over and over and over again now at multiple major airports. Maybe it's the Trump Republican plan in this budget to sell off thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of U.S. public lands. lands that belong to the American people that we will never get back after they.
So if we write about the them selling off the parks and whatnot, can Congress override him? Can the Senate override him and tell him that he can't sell those lands off? I mean, that's our land. Oh, she's a Dem. Yay. Kentucky had a long YT asking for a GoFundMe type assistant. Really? Okay, yeah, and see, you, Roberta, we're on the same page. Sounds like some Bill Lee mess. Yeah, she's a Dem. She was mayor of Atlanta and did a great job. Talk her up. Talk her up. BB says every candidate should take the naturalization 100 questions before they become a candidate. I like that idea. BB, I like that idea. And they're not easy, but I mean, if you're going to represent the government, you should have a firm understanding of the government rules, regulations, policies. If you want somebody from another country to come over here and pass that exam, you who were born in this country and who's running for a political office should have the same knowledge. I'm just saying. I like that idea. I for one do not agree with. I sat there and diddled over this a little bit because it's like, okay, well, he can sell the lands, but we can get them back. But she's like, if he sells them, we can't get them back. And I'm like, we have so much undeveloped land in this country, or underdeveloped land in this country. There's no need to sell off the national parks. Panda says the problem is that they don't teach what they used to. Panda, you hit that nail on the head. You hit that nail on the head. They don't teach what they used to teach in school anymore. They don't. They really don't. Pebble says, I second that. Know what you represent. Mm-hmm. How are you going to tell somebody what the rules are if you don't know what the rules are yourself? How many times have we taken Trump to court because he's breaking the law? He doesn't even know what the law is, and this is his second term. Crystal says, my kids' school gave the test to students in their senior year and they struggled. Roberta says, bet Trump can't pass it, but he'd say he aced it. Mm-hmm. He sure would. He sure would. Kate says, Congress could override if they just would. I think Trump has something on most of Congress with few exceptions. They could override it? Okay. I'm going to write no to selling off the national parks. Because my grandkids and great grands and all that would love to see them in their entirety. He can't, no. Panda, it really makes a difference to the schools, right? What's the homework? Oh, the homework is, the first one is have the charges against the New Jersey junior senator dropped because they've arrested him. Then we're going through this, and the link is in the description. We're going through this MSNBC post by Rachel Maddow. It's like 9.5 minutes long, and you can pick and choose what you want to write about. You can write about the whole thing, or you can write about what moves you. But this is in the description. And I'm just writing mine down because I won't remember. Yeah, so it's you can write about everything that she's mentioned, or you can pick the ones that really resonate with you and write about them. Since Roberta says that they can overturn him if they want to, then yeah, I'm going to write about the national forest because it's our land. Why is he going to sell our land? He can sell one of his golf courses. Darcia says Keisha used to be mayor of Atlanta, but didn't seek a second term. She went to work in the Biden administration. That's her. Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about her. Roberta says, BB, that's why it's important to get back Congress if we want it, if we make it that long. Yeah, we've got to have a fighting chance. Crystal says, I meant where he was wanting to do away with it. He's always wanting to do away with something we need. Laurie says, as a longtime high school teacher, I can affirm that Panda is correct. They don't teach the same levels of civics that they used to do. And additionally, each state has control. Oh, Laurie, that's good to know. That's good to know because, yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. If they could overturn it, I'm all in favor of it. Half of his executive orders, I would have them overturned.
Sell them off. Maybe it's the fact that Trump has now got inexplicable AI chatbots answering the phones at the Social Security Administration. Chatbots that appear designed simply to make you hang up in frustration without ever getting the help you need to, say, locate your missing check.
I really think we need to write about that. I hate chatbots. And if they are not answering the people and getting them the help they need to put some more people back on the phone. Please and thank you. Darcy is saying most of Congress is not going to do that. They are getting a kickback from because they're the Reds, math, physics, reading, writing, not just civics, is everything. Oh, gracious. Their thing is keep people stupid, sick, and poor. See? They're scared. They're scared of him. They're scared of Musk. And like I said, they need to be scared of us because we're the ones who keep them in office. And if I had my way about it, most of them would be out of office.
Maybe it's that Trump is cutting the program that helps babies born with health defects. Maybe it's that Trump is stopping support for Narcan, which does nothing except save the lives of people who are overdosing.
Remember we said survival of the fittest? So if you are a drug addict, or you're poor, or you're sick, or you're elderly, or you are a child born with a problem, you don't deserve to be here. This is Darwin's law, survival of the fittest. If you're not healthy, preferably white, you don't deserve to be here. Are you kidding me? Oh man, Pebbles, that's awful. Luckily, I got mine in time. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Crystal says he will outsource it to India to save money, and just because he could. We need to put more pressure on these people in office. We have to make it known that we are serious. And if they want to keep their seats, they need to get a backbone.
Maybe it's the fact that Trump is sending hundreds of tons of perfectly good food, enough to feed 1 million people for 3 months. He has sent that food to instead rot in 4 government warehouses in Dubai and Djibouti and Houston and South Africa, because the sign-off to allow that food to be given to starving people is sitting on the desk of a 28-year-old with 0 government service experience, who has nevertheless been put in charge of the fate of 1 million people at least, because of his connection to the president's top campaign donor. Yeah, maybe it is any of those things.
Now, see, we need to write several times to our representatives to get this Jeremy Lewin to sign off on those funds, because having them sit there and rot in warehouses is helping no one. Even if they don't want to distribute them around the world, they can distribute them to the poor and the hungry here. They're sitting in Houston. There's a lot of people in Houston that are living on the street. You haven't tried the SSA recently? Even the Supreme Court is mostly his people. They could have stepped in at it. They could have stepped in the day one. Yes, they could have. They could have. It is. It's awful. And so yeah, I think that's going to be my first letter to the people. Get him to sign those forms, because that's stupid, is cruel, is inhumane. Talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, that's wasteful. Darcy is yelling at me. They are not worried about their seat because they are too scared of him, and some are getting kickbacks. Well, okay. And if they lose their seat, then where are they going to work? They need to be worried about their seats. That's why they were so afraid of Musk primarying them, because they were afraid they would lose their seats. Panda says, welcome to America, 2025. So sad. Panda, this is the first time in my life that I have ever been ashamed of being American. Okay, Michelle, don't run, walk, baby. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, this is madness.
Maybe it's the fact that Trump just effectively legalized machine guns.
Oh, well, we're going to go through the commercial silently, and then we'll come back to Rachel. Yeah, see, but the thing is, it doesn't affect anybody he knows or anybody he cares to know. So it doesn't matter to him. It does not matter to him.
You heard me right.
And that's sad, because this is supposed to be a country of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not the oligarchs, not the rich, not the MAGA, for the people.
You heard me right. Trump just effectively legalized machine guns. He is allowing the sale of something called a forced reset trigger. You'll now be allowed to buy those and possess those in this country. What's a forced reset trigger? It turns basically any AR-15 style rifle into a machine gun. Just hold the trigger down and fire all your ammo. Trump's attorney general says they are now allowing those devices to be sold, again, effectively legalizing machine guns in the United States, because she says, in her words, it will, quote, enhance public safety.
Wait a minute. Sorry, Rachel.
Machine guns.
How is it going to enhance public safety if not only do you have an AR-15 in a school shooting, but you have one that has the power of a machine gun or the rapidity of a machine gun? How is that enhancing public safety? And you're going to have these on the streets? That's, in my opinion, insane. First time I've ever been afraid to be an American. Well, there is that. Crystal says, the thing that angers me and makes me most fearful is he's mimicking that so evil of many in Germany. See, the man in Germany, girl, yeah, see. Yep, it's his playbook. It's awful. If it weren't for people like Ryan Hall, the death toll from recent tornadoes would have been so much worse. Ooh, honey.
So when the history books are written about our generation in this moment, what will they say is our cause in standing up against the Trump administration? Turns out we don't have just one. And I think that might be part of our superpower here, because it allows for protests of various kinds and various stripes, nonviolent protest of every imaginable variety in every state in the country, just about every single day. And sometimes they are massive. I think what we're going to see on June 14th is going to be massive. Sometimes they are a few people. Sometimes they are 15,000 people across 30 miles of Illinois. But whatever we're doing, the various forms of pushback against Trump are also working in various ways every day. Today, for example, a federal judge ruled that Trump acted in a manner that was blatantly unlawful when he shut down the U.S. Institute of Peace and effectively tried to steal their building, even though the Institute itself owns the building and not the U.S. government. The U.S. Institute of Peace put out a statement tonight saying they look forward to restarting their work now that a judge has shut down Trump for unlawfully trying to shut them down. This weekend, a judge ruled over and over and over again, hundreds of times, that the so-called military zone that Trump has set up across 3 states on the southern border is effectively legally meaningless. And just because Trump has declared that a military zone, it doesn't give him the right to have people arrested there for trespassing on military property. Today at Columbia University in New York City, Mohsen Madawi walked at his graduation to accept his diploma, after a huge movement of his friends and his community in Vermont and in New York culminated in a federal judge in Vermont ordering him freed from prison. He is a legal permanent resident and he is a green card holder. He has never been accused of a crime. Trump had his immigration agents arrest him exclusively for his constitutionally protected political speech. But that did not stand. He was freed by court order, and today he graduated from Columbia and got a huge standing ovation. Tonight, the bizarre criminal charges against the mayor of the largest city of New Jersey, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ross Baraka, for the crime of showing up outside the controversial immigration prison in his city. Those charges tonight were dropped, although they say they are now charging a member of Congress who was on the same scene that day. This is no time to check out. And do not sleep on the power of protest and the power of pushback. And every country has its own history, and every country has its own navel-gazing ways, right? I don't think Serbia much cares about what's happening here. I don't think that, we care more about other countries than we do about ourselves. But it's the same kind of guy doing the same kind of politics for the same kind of reasons in all of these places. And when the people see through it, we see through it the same way in every country. We recognize like and like. And so these authoritarians have effects on one another, and the protest movements against them have effects as well. After Trump was elected, Canada, for example, changed their mind and decided they would not elect their own Trumpy candidate. They would elect someone else who would stand up to Trump instead. They did a U-turn in that election. Same thing happened in Australia right after it happened in Canada. This weekend, same thing happened in Romania. A huge upset. The Trumpy candidate had long been expected to win and win by a lot. The people of that country turned around and said nope and elected the centrist mayor of Bucharest instead. Authoritarians fight hard to make change seem difficult, to make ousting them seem impossible, to make opposing them seem hard or pointless or dangerous. But everybody else knows better all over the world, including here.
Sam, congratulations on electing somebody with a backbone. Congrats, Australia. It's working. It's working. We just have to keep the fight, keep the pressure, keep the calls, keep the letters. It's working. Pat yourselves on the back. We're doing good work. We are doing good work. Crystal says, because they dream of holding back invasive enemies with one, which is ridiculous because God only knows who they would fire on. probably fire on us. Has anyone been following the Romanian election? It is so similar. It is very creepy. That's what she just reported on, isn't it, Crystal? Wasn't that Romania, she said? Romania, Australia, and somebody else? But the Trumpy people were voted against. We're standing as an example. What would happen if you vote for the wrong person? They've seen what happens when you FAFO. If nothing else, we're making the world a better place because we are now finding out. Okay, good. Okay, like I thought that's what she said. Okay, because I was on the other screen while you were typing over here. Yay! But yeah, we like I said, we you can pick apart. And who told Darcia? So yeah, I had seen that clip, and I had seen that he had been released, and I saw McIver's name, but I did not read the whole blurb. So yeah, I had it in that clip. So yeah, we have to write to get her released. And you know what? While we're at it, if you choose to write about her, add Cory Booker to that chain so that he knows that people are behind him to help get her free. Cory has done some magnificent work in the last month, but like anybody else, he needs encouragement. He needs to know that the people are behind him, that we see him, and that he's not fighting in vain. So yeah, if you choose to write about that one as well, add Cory Booker to that chain because he needs all of the encouragement we can give to him. And my lovelies, whoever said that Cory Booker should run, I totally agree because he would be a fantastic president. And I do believe that the Obamas would back him as well. You got Barack and Michelle Obama behind you after you've been up for 24 hours. Ooh, that would be awesome. And I don't think he would have too much trouble running against the people who would possibly run next time. I don't think so. It feels like there was an attempt at creating that Germany situation again, or am I overreaching? Well, I think if the Muskrat had his full influence in there, they would have had that situation again. That's what he was leaning towards. Oh, and before I forget, I couldn't find I wasn't looking for the clip. I did see it. I can find it again if anybody's interested in it, but I saw a clip the other day that we weren't getting the oppressed people from South Africa and we weren't getting the rich people from South Africa. The people that they sent over last year were the poor and unemployed. And we are giving them food, housing, and medical that we've taken away from American citizens. We're giving it to them, and they were the dregs of society. So we had to import our own bigots. We're going to put them on the field since we sent the immigrants away. They could work the fields because they were of a lower class of Afrikaner. I didn't want to FO because I never, I'm part of the 92% as well. Have you? Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see someone disappeared Melania statue? No, I missed that one. I missed that one. I I'm not unhappy about it. That guy that did an interview, poor guy, he had to leave his 5 bedroom home. Oh, poor baby. I feel so sorry for him. 5 bedrooms? He couldn't afford anything bigger than that. Why not just allow the Hispanic nations who work hard instead of South? Crystal, you know why. You know why. Because the Hispanic nations are brown. The South Africans are white. They are trying to make America white again, though it's never been white. They had the Native Americans here first, and they were a little reddish, tinge of brown. But they are trying to deport all of the brown people and import all of the white people. And if they could find some place to send us, we'd be gone too. Now, if they can find those papers and find out what country my ancestors were brought over from, I might consider going back. But they got to find the papers first. Since they sending everybody back to their homeland, you find out where my homeland is, and maybe I'll go. Mm-hmm. Since I've never seen that paperwork, you find that paperwork, you prove to me where my ancestors came from, and then I'll go back to the motherland or the fatherland. Oh, I forgot it has to be the fatherland because we no longer recognize women. Roberta's laughing at me. I know why, but it isn't. That's because you're not dealing with logical people. You are dealing with bigots and racists, and they have never, ever, ever in their lives thought about anything logically. It's been what they want. And the only reason they're going to tolerate you is if you provide direct comfort to them. But if you're just working on their land, they get rid of you and get another one. They don't care. They have no conscience. They have no moral compass. They don't care about you if you're not white. And anybody who's been in this country longer than 250 years is not 100% European. And Trump's ex-daughter-in-law is dating the golfer, Tiger Woods. And he said, "Oh, yeah, Tiger's a nice person." Mm-hmm. I wonder how he really feels about Tiger. And in other news, the plant it's still burning. They had poured so much water on there. They were trying to get out the hot spots. It started up again. Woo! I'm white and it still feels cathartic, girl. I'm trying to decide if my second great grandparents are rolling over in their graves or if they're jumping up and down saying, "Yeah, I told y'all." Yeah, I don't know. It's it's just sad. It's sad that we've come so far, and now history is repeating itself. It is really sad. I am white, but I am a Mongolian, Russian, German, and just mutt. Anybody who's been in this country for more than 250 years is a mongrel. Moore Hines 57. But bigots don't care. And as Jennifer on I've Had It says, it's the white Christian nationalists who are the worst. They are the worst bigots because they try to put the Bible behind it to validate their bigotry. Our ancestors are breaking out the hot dogs. I heard somebody else say that. Reese Waters has, did Reese do it? Yeah, Reese Waters has a whole little segment on that plantation burning. So if you're interested in that plantation, you should go watch his segment. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. It was, I saw it sometime over the weekend. It was good. It really was good because instead of being the historic aspect of the home, it was the African Americans' perspective of this big old plantation house is burning. People hold weddings here. Why do you want to get married in a plantation house? And will your marriage last after the blood's been spilled on this soil? Yeah. Granny, you know I love me some Reese. You know I love me some great Reese. Did you see that segment? It was good. It really was. It was good. Kay says, that's me, and I'm proud of all I am, and I sure hope and pray they are proud of me. I sat down and told mine one day, I said, why are you hiding? Don't you know your baby is down here looking for you? Send me a sign. The Christian nationalists really just sound like idiots to me. They can't read their Bible, doesn't support that stupidity. They can't read. Their Bible doesn't support that stupidity. Just saying. Don't forget the ribs, burgers, and chicken. Well, if you're going to do that, you got to bring out the watermelon and the corn on the cob. Come on now. Funny story. When I was in fifth grade, we had to fill out some form of designate race. I told everyone to check other and fill in American. When they had the 2020, no, the census in 2000, my husband put in other, and I'm like, other what? He says, you got everything in you, you just other. I was like, okay. Granny says, no, I have to go back and find that. Granny, it was good. You have to go back and find it. It was so good. He had me laughing out loud. Yeah, it was funny. I did that too. My answer was laughed at. When I went to college and they asked me what my race was, and I looked at him, I said, how would I know? And they said, what race is your father? I said, black. He says, then you're black because you're whatever race your father is. And I'm like, oh, okay. I put down blacks. And that the state elder insurance thing called, and they wanted to know what my race was. And they went through Hispanic and da 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 da. And then they asked me, oh, there's a little boy. Hold on, I got to open the door for Shorty. Give me just a second. Where's my camera? Okay, be right back. Coming. Sorry, honey, I was looking at your bus, and your bus is over there by the Walgreens someplace. Good afternoon. I'll be out in just a minute because your bus was not on the map. I'm back. Okay, now I can't start the camera. There it is. Her bus was way over. Yeah, her bus wasn't even here. Oh well. Oh yes, and the tater salad. You saw that video. Did you like it? It was funny. I've always been a bit of a rebel. I was not a rebel until they said he was running again. And that brought out my inner demon because I was like, no, we can't do this again. I was upset enough the first time. I said, we're not doing this again. When Kamala said she was running, I said, bet, I'm behind you. And then they turned on her. I still can't get over the 9 million people who didn't vote. We've got to reach those people. My father was 100% a-hole. I refuse to claim that. I don't blame you. I wouldn't claim it either. Shorty, are you here? I'll tell her you said hi, Jen. Thank you so much. I'm glad that the view on father doesn't extend farther because I love my dad, but I really don't like him much right now. He tried to tell me Trump will save us all. I periodically, um, I periodically go and see my father-in-law, and he is a long time Republican. Uh, we have these discussions, and he has an interesting perspective on things. And he says that yeah, it needs to be changed, it needs to be overhauled, but they're doing too much too fast. And I'm like, thank you for that. Thanks, Darcia. I'll tell her you said hi. Hi, Susan. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing? The links for the homework are in the description. I just showed Congress Congressman Greg Casar because he stated that what we're doing, the letters and the calls and everything, are working. And then we went through Rachel Maddow's show from last night because she hit on several points, and you can just pick and choose whichever one you want to write about, but one subject per letter because we still want to flood their boxes. Yeah, similar minds. Yeah. Loopy, welcome in. Good to see you. I'd be cheeky as a kid as compared my dad to a dumb farm animal. I take after my mom instead. Loopy. Oh, Loopy. Kate, I'll tell her you said hi. Thank you. She's probably in the freezer trying to get a popsicle. Pardon the typo. Just woke up from a nap. Naps are good, and I understood typos. Yes, ma'am. Crystal said, just tell him if he ain't willing to be open minded, he doesn't want to have that conversation with me. Girl, get you a burner phone and have that conversation with him. Make sure it's a burner phone because I don't want ICE coming after you. Yeah. That's why he wanted, because my father in law was like, well, he wants Canada. Why doesn't he want Mexico? I said, because Mexico has brown people and Canada has white people. He only wants the white people. And he's like, why would you say that? I said, because he rehired the press secretary that he fired for saying that the government would only work if it was run by white men. And he said, who was that? I said, that was Mr. Beatty. And so I had to spell Beatty for him. And he just said, I don't know what he thought about that. Apparently he hadn't heard that before. I hadn't heard it either, but I don't follow the Republicans. But yeah, it's like if you only want white men in your inner circle or crazy women who are going to let you do whatever you want to do, there's no hope. We've got to turn the seats blue. We've got to. Joke on him. Canada's full of it. Yeah, but it's not the whole country. It's full of them, but it's not the whole country. But he's uneducated. So all he sees are the people in politics, and the one Arabian looking person, there was only one. Everybody else appeared to be Caucasian. That's all that matters to him is appearance. So if you are bright, light, and can pass, you can really mess with his head. And I'm sorry, Black MAGA, I do not understand how you can look yourself in the mirror in the morning, turn on your whole race, and be and a lapdog, like Byron Donald says, "Daddy's back, honey. He's not my daddy. He's not your daddy. Grow a pair." Crystal says, "Well, you know why he really banned abortion, because there wasn't enough white babies being born. But what do I know? That's why Musk has 14 children. I don't know about the 5 from his first wife, but apparently all of the other ones were conceived by IVF. So he's trying to make America white again. And remember, he was saying that the population was low. The birth rate is too low. And Vance was giving out the little specimen jars. I'll check the link later, maybe for Sunflowers Day 3 of Cyber Knife. How's she doing with it? Is she doing okay? Speaking of abortion, that poor girl being held on life support. Yeah. Yeah. That is awful, but it's you know what, Darcia, you should start a movement that all women of age bearing years move out of Georgia, because that poor other girl that died, she had gone to another state to get her abortion and came back and had complications and couldn't get treated, and she died. They are going through extreme measures to make it hard on women. And unfortunately, so far, the only women who are having problems are not the Caucasian ones. Or Latina MAGA. The Latino stations are all owned by Republicans. See, they were lied to, and they were told that they had papers. They were not going to be deported. So what did he do? He changed their status, and now he's going to deport them because they no longer have their papers. We tried to tell them it was not just going to be criminals. It's going to be everybody who did not have a tan. Breaks my heart. Yeah. Yeah. All yeah, you all need to start a movement. All women of childbearing age need to move out of Georgia. You need to go. I wonder how the conversation goes when Musk and RFK Jr. are together. Musk is, and admits it, autistic. Well, he grew up in South Africa, so he didn't have any vaccines, did he? The most frustrating thing about the fact that it is predominantly women of color that are having these issues is partially because the Caucasian women have the money to go out of the MAGA states. Well, that was the thing. The first woman went out of a MAGA state and she came back and started having issues and didn't get the proper treatment, and she died. She went out of state to get the abortion, but Georgia wouldn't. These acts go against the Jewish faith. Girl, these acts should be going against all the faiths. And the other thing is, with those rifles having the machine gun rapidity, I believe they're probably going to accidentally be used on African American schools first, since it's okay to start segregating again. They're going to try to wipe us out. But RFK Jr. says autistic are non-functional. And last week he said, "Well, I'm not a doctor. You shouldn't take medical advice from me." Okay, I'm glad she's okay. Yeah, she's gonna be weak, poor baby. Yeah, Loopy, very true. So you know how this will go if we let it. Yeah, we gotta fight. We gotta fight. We've got to fight. Yeah, we've got to, because they're doing their best to erase us, wipe us out, and they always talk about the black. Oh, and since they wiped out the police database for the police officers who were being investigated and put them back on the street. We've got a whole bunch of police out on the street who have been investigated for uh, excessive force, and they're back out on the street. And if they accidentally kill a black person, Trump has already shown that he will pardon them. I'm just saying. Yeah, it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, Lori. Yeah. Roberta, I don't function properly, but I function. I have ADHD and autism. Yeah, there's that's small minded, and that's another form of uh being a bigot, because if they have any kind of medical or social issue, remember back in the day, if a person was mentally deficient, the parents would lock them in an attic and nobody knew that the child even existed because the parents never integrated them with other people. I'm so concerned that you're totally right about basically the full on assault on Black people. I can see that happening because we've had so many mass school shootings already, and now they're going to have rapid fire AR-15s. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad for the home team. Only truth he's spoken in forever, girl. DC autism is not a disease. Just saying. Yeah, they're trying. Like I said, this is Darwinism at its finest. It's going to be survival of the fittest. If you are born with a defect, if you're elderly, if you're poor or sickly, they are not going to try to help you. You've got to be upright and functional and preferably white. Preferably. Unless you're a suck up. My hubby is in law enforcement and he feels the same way as you do about those pardons. Yeah, they should have been held accountable. A person is a person. You've got good people everywhere, but you have bad people everywhere. And a bad person should not have a gun and be turned loose in society. So, and he, what is it? He fired the judge or did something to the judge who would not pardon Mel Gibson and give him back his gun license because he was an alcoholic and abusive. And she said an abusive alcoholic should not be running around with a gun. He gave Ashley Babbitt family 500,000. Ashley Babbitt family. What? I'm about to lose power in this storm. It's really powerful. Getting off now. See you later. Kate, you stay safe. And you got a storm, girl. Be safe. He supports eugenics, but can't outright say it. Well, no, because no. I mean, because he has repealed the civil rights bill, so he can say whatever he wants now. Because he was talking on Fox the other day about the N-word. Yeah, be careful, Kate, because yeah, we've been here, done that. Been saying that since November. Folks are on their own. Mm-hmm. You got to take care of yourselves. Or was it 500 million? I know it was a ridiculous amount. Any amount is. Oh, that reminds me. Um, if you have AARP, sign up for Walgreens Rewards. Attach your AARP number to your rewards number. And if you shop on Tuesdays, you get extra rewards points. So if I have to if I have to shop at Walgreens, I make up a list and I wait until Tuesday and I place my order. And if you order online, either for pickup, shipping, or delivery, you can also use Rakuten and you can get your your little rebates for shopping at that retailer. So you get your rewards points, you get extra points for having AARP, and you get Rakuten dollars for being a member of Rakuten. You meant RFK, girl, little red man. Panda saying to Roberta, I saw that. I'm infuriated by this. Our taxes are going to domestic terrorists. See, put that in your letter. That's not what my taxes are for. Put that in your letter. I need to write that down. Because, yeah. See, they're spending money that they're wasting. It's still waste, fraud, and abuse. Panda, I'm wondering if he can just do that, or is he just blowing smoke? We need to write. We need to write, because if he thinks he can do it, was it Darcia who said that they can overturn it if they choose to? So yeah, if we put enough pressure on the Senate and the Congress, and Congress is supposed to have control of the purse. I don't understand who is signing these checks if Congress hasn't signed off on this stuff. But we really need to start putting pressure on them and see if they don't stop what they're doing. Whether or not he can, I'm sure he's going to, or going to try at least. But we got to let them know we're not happy. And even if they don't stop him, they'll know we're not happy. And when they are voted out of office, they won't sit there being surprised going, I was representing my constituents. No, you weren't. Because we wrote to you and told you this is not how we wanted our tax dollars spent. You didn't pay any attention to us. So we're going to put somebody in who will pay attention to us. It's been a busy week. Turns out that plane wasn't offered. He asked for it. I thought we weren't supposed to be friends with Hamas. Wasn't Hamas supposed to be behind him losing the 2020 election? Was that Hamas he was blaming it on? Because he won. He's making friends with our enemies and he's alienating our allies. I am so upset with what he's doing to poor President Zelensky. I am happy that Pope Leo cannot stand him. I am happy that the last 3 elections overseas did not vote for a Trump-like candidate. Ooh-wee, the Guitar Prince put it out. Thank you. Have you seen the news on wellness farms? No, I haven't. What's that about, Loopy? Crystal says, when will they admit he is a dementia patient that is rotated around by those who bought him as puppeteer him? They're not going to admit it as long as they can rotate him around and get their way. They're not going to admit it. Oh, crap. No. You know what? I actually, to be honest with you, I have to look into that because I keep hearing that term and I really don't know much about it because working trauma, I was never involved in that. Thank you. We had to save everybody. That is elder abuse. Ever accusation is an admission. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Is that that's a sensitive topic. We don't want to really handle that, do we? Because if you do, I mean, I can look into it and we can but see, writing about that is not going to get us anywhere, is it? There's not a whole lot Senate can do about that, is there? Because I mean, we're blowing up their boxes. We're blowing up their phone lines. It's working. But we don't want to take our time with something we can't do anything about. We may at least need to be informed. Okay. Okay. I'll see what I can find on it. And you're right. Nothing we can do about people in power who believe in eugenics. Yeah, it's like, okay, I am okay with talking about it, but someone who has PTSD, yeah, that's yeah, I agree. No, they won't admit it. That's why he wouldn't release his physicals. They knew he wasn't fit. That's why he wouldn't release his doctor's report. It's for people on, okay, including prescriptions from doctors like, oh, to segregation of the people inflicted and also people with ND diagnosis, also sterilization for those deemed unworthy. Ooh, snap. Who controls those farms? Are they they're not government funded or controlled, are they? Because if it's our tax dollars at work, then we can your girl, look. Yeah, but you're functioning. Might be slow sometimes, but you're functioning. Like me, I might be going backwards sometimes, but I'm functioning. But is it government controlled? Because oh crap. Oh well, yeah. If he wants them, then we can talk about them, and we can write. Yeah, we can write. Yep, yep. We sure can. We sure can. Best of luck with that. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. They don't. Did my phone didn't go off? Is Ola Joe live? Cause it's oh shoot, it's 10 to 4. If she's live, we've almost missed her. She is live. I didn't. Well, I got so much stuff going on. Okay, let me get the link, and we are going to do a Val Jean raid over to Ola G. Oh Lord Jesus, Ola Joe. Oh heavens. Oh heavens. Oh heavens. Oh, she's been on for 33 minutes. I'm so sorry, sis. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's because I turned my phone off because we were live and it was making noise. Oops. Okay, this is our link for our little sailor Ola Joe. And we're going to do a Valjean raid over to our favorite sailors. Roberta, honey, it is not a rant. I'm happy to have you here. Roberta says, DC, you do better than I do on some days. You are perfect as you are. Yes, yes, she is. Panda is laughing when you got good convo time flies. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Crystal says, thank you, Roberta, but you seem too sharp to me. She does. She really does. Honey, you weren't ranting. You were engaging, and that's why we do this so people can talk. They can air their grievances. We can figure out what we can do about it, and we can. And as Greg Casar said, it's working. So we got to keep the pressure up. And the link for Greg is in the description, and the link for Rachel Maddow is in the description. And again, pick and choose what you want to write about. I will look into. I saw that. That was disgusting. Yeah. No. 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 I saw that, and he took his grandchildren, and I was sitting here going, where were their parents? They know he's crazy, and they let him take their children there. In fact, the most chaotic and rebellious people I ever met are no. Girl, I don't think I know anybody from there. And now that you say that, I don't think I want to know anybody from there. Oh my gosh. Yep, he took his grands. I don't know what his kids were thinking. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it. You're limiting grandchild grand time for sure. No, you know what? He would have to have supervised visitation at the home. He would not be allowed to take the kids anywhere. Oh, you meant that one. Okay. 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 I wasn't equating the two. Silly me, I'm thinking about North Dakota. I'm sorry, Crystal, and it's in your handle. Because we're all family, and nobody would know if you didn't tell them. Because you do awesomely. You really do. You really do. Hugs and smooches, everybody. See you over at Ola Joe's. Sorry, I was on. Lord, we've been. Well, you know what? It's 1 hour and 53 minutes. We can hang out for 7 more minutes, and it'll be a whole 2 hours. Well, North Dakota raised some rebels. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Hugs and happy Tuesday, Panda. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. How many zombies did you kill while we were here? I'm afraid there'll be no more zombies left when Panda gets through. And I'll look into this form and I'll see what RFK has to say about it. And this is what happens when the Senate does not hold to their convictions and they just let anybody into the cabinet, whether they're qualified or not. And this is the madness that we have to put up with. And like the one clip we saw, they said, get a backbone and stop bending over. I should get that on a t-shirt. I should get that on a t-shirt. Get a backbone and stop bending over. Because they're not helping us. They are actually harming us, and that's not what they were voted in here for. It really isn't. Oh, and a kiss on the cheek. Thank you. Okay, everybody. I will see you over at Ola Jones. Take care now. Love you all. Bye bye.